Alright, so today I'm going to be replacing my cam solenoid valves, and hopefully they'll fix the problem. I got two from Holden. That's the solenoid there. To get the nut, I believe, should be just somewhere under here. Just here. So this here is basically that part there. Now to get this off, this is all one piece, one unit, and this is one unit here. Now one thing you have to be mindful of is that this cable, which obviously controls or sends information from the solenoid to the ignition here, it's just covered by plastic. Unfortunately, you can see with heat, this car only has 80,000 Ks now, but it just crumbles in your hand. I don't have big hands, but it's literally the size of my fingernail, so super small. Doesn't need a lot of effort to get in there. Alright, so the bolt was fine. I've got it out. If this is up, it has no room to move. You have to pull it down and then it will come out. And that's pretty much the case. And just to wiggle it slowly. Alright, so that's the first one replaced. Second one's just here. Sort of see it okay, and have a look. It's just there. It's taken about 20 minutes trying everything. The best thing that I could have done is to get a set of adjustable vice grips like these, hook them on, and then just continually wiggle and try to move back and forward and see if it'll actually come out. So, get the idea. Literally, just have to pull it out. Almost off there, so it shouldn't be much more, and you can see it started to open up. Sometimes things don't happen like you want to happen, so I managed to pull it out. If you notice, there's a little bit missing. See if I can focus it better for you. It's basically torn off the edges. Alright, so unfortunately I can't get it out without taking the rocker cover off, so that's what I'm going to be doing now. T40 bolts. Easiest way is literally to either press down on it and lift up, or to go inside, and then it should just come off. Alright, so this is what my engine looks like. It's actually in really good condition. But yeah, disappointed because I thought I could actually get access to these, but I can't. They're in its own metal sleeving in the rocker, in the cylinder heads, so don't try and think that you can take this off and actually get that out. You can't. It doesn't work. Right, there's two more bolts that you've got to get off. So obviously that's the main one there. And the bracket. Now we have to get this off here, the cover. The bottom harmonic balancer cover, plastic cover looks like. There's 4 screws here, got 2 for the top cover. Alright, one thing to be mindful, this cover, don't know if there'll be enough light, it sits in between the top and the bottom part. Alright, so man, I've been stressing out with this camshaft sprockets and trying to get everything sorted, and I figured it out. But you just have to read the book, right? Light, to be honest, but it may be necessary to turn the camshaft slightly using an open-ended spanner. They're a hexagonal pattern, there's one for each. This is how you actually hold the camshaft in place. This is the locking tool. Actually forgot one thing. Sorry about the bad light, but this is what you need. It's a 24. Cool, so I've counted and it's 13. They can go either side, it doesn't matter. And then try and line up. Alright, so I'm going to do a very unconventional method. You would only do this if you are not keeping these. I repeat, you would only do the following method if you were not keeping the camshafts. That's pretty much what we wanted. It actually is turning really easily. This thing is arguably the worst design piece of crap that you could find. You have to be mindful to check that you're not going to cut through any connectors. There's more connectors on this side than on that side. So you actually have to be really careful. Screw out by hand. Jesus Christ. Another tip. Saw a video where some fellas, they didn't loosen the nut without holding the camshaft. That's impossible. I already tried it, almost burred 2 bolts instead of burred 1. You just got to hold here as you do this. If you get that, you'll be able to get this off no problem. There it is, I got it out. And the Alright, now that we've done this, because the blocks are in there, it may be a bit hard to get these out initially, but if we move the blocks, these things should rotate. Alright, so at the moment this car is really beyond annoying. I managed to get all the parts off except, unfortunately, the one part I need, which is the actuator. Sorry, the solenoid. To get that solenoid off, I haven't got it off yet. This is where it is at the moment. Come check this out. But I'm hoping that then will allow me to square it and then to pull it back. One thing you notice about modern cars is it is made of a lot of plastic, right? So this here, which actually fits into the camshaft variable valve timing gear, it's plastic. Alright, snap off. I reckon with enough heat it'll probably crack one day. Alright, so getting the shaft off didn't really work. Actually it wouldn't really grab at all, and I'll push the shaft further in, so I thought stuff it, I'll just get the big bolt and actually try and do this myself with the big one and make that turn, and it actually works. Right, so that screw that's in there is I think an M10. Alright, I think I'm pretty much done. I didn't have to slide hammer it at all. Didn't waste angle grinding, but that didn't really was needed either. Did a few times on that edge and it's come out. Alright, it's a little bit loose again, so we've got to tighten it up. Keep misplacing my wrenches. Almost there, almost. Ah, yeah, baby, done. There we go. There it is, all pulled out. This here somehow managed to bend that there somehow managed to bend a bit on the side. Yeah, I don't know if you can see, it's slightly curved. Alright, so now we're going to place this cover back, and this cover is the first thing you need to put before you put actually the gears. So these are the GM parts, and that's the part number. These are the two new bolts that we're going to put on. They're not Loctite. You don't have to Loctite them, but you have to angle, put them in and torque them to specific Newton meters. Okay, so try not to move them. Make sure they're still on alignment. The first one sits roughly in there. The second one is a little bit of a pain. Just wiggle it back and forward. Alright, so this is from the Vauxhall Opel Astra Owner's Workshop Manual, same as a Holden Astra. 2C3 camshaft sprocket retaining bolt. 65 Newton meters, angle tighten 120 and angle tighten 15. I reckon that was a click. Let's try this one. Yep, take that off. Just wiggle it. Yep.
So this one I need to push towards me?
No.
You're going to go that way?
No, same.
Okay.
Just, yep, all you have to do is just hold it, literally. It's going to come towards you. So... done. That's your click. Alright, so we've done 65 on each. Now we've got to tighten it yet again, 120 degrees. If I show you, now this will really move. Ready? It's going to really... Alright, got to keep going. It's fairly tight, and then just another probably 20 degrees from there. So one turn of this handle should be enough. I believe the easiest way to do the cover is to go in this pattern. So a tip, just remember the way you unbolt it, do it in reverse. So don't clip this down first because there's, I'll show the torch. There's this crankcase hose that has a little spring clip, you can see at the bottom. Make sure you bolt that up, that's a negative earth for the coil wiring. And it's easiest to unbolt that to make this more free. Once you've wired that back up, then push down and clip it in. Don't do that before you've done this stuff and at the back. Alright, so we've got it set to 25. Want as well, you can just push a torch in between the right headlight. Get the crankshaft sprocket. Try to see if I can create some light on. It doesn't really want to go on straight away, so you need to grab something like a socket like this. and then hammer it on using the socket. So you see we're a little bit off, we haven't really aligned it yet, but in order to do that we've got to put on the bolt just here. In my car, which is a 5-speed, just wedge a wooden block on the brake pedal with just one of my breaker bars, and that should give me enough resistance that I can now do this without it moving around everywhere. Way is to fit the belt on loosely first at the bottom and then to tighten it up from the top. Drill bits, so you can wedge that up on the smooth side next to the cover so it presses in. To get that tight, I had to really grab the belt on its own and pull straight up to the sky. I want to say something. I bought this ages ago. It's a Repco brand, nothing against Repco at all. I bought other tools from them before. It's more the way that this tool works. You have to be mindful of these universal kits as opposed to these, which actually are fixed in. And that's sort of what you want, and I'll explain the reason why in a minute. Alright, sometimes you get given advice which sounds okay, but you don't really question it. One of these was regarding the tensioner. I don't think I showed you just then. There was a little pin, which is this here. You know, the pin's just there to keep the tensioner from rocking in transit. No, this is the locking pin here. So you can lock the tensioner basically by putting this in on the side, and I'll show you where the hole is. Having that tensioner locking pin that comes with the tensioner from General Motors, Opel, Holden, Chevrolet, whatever company you want to say, that is such a lifesaver. Once you get that in and you put that little pin in, it'll hold itself. The easiest way is to do the belts up here at the top, round the tensioner, leave the idler off, and just put this a little bit more in front of the arrow. Alright, so I've already done one crankshaft turn, so time for the second one. Yep, so we're all good to go. Alright, we're up to the fun part now, the easier part of putting the pulley and the serpentine belt back. Like that. They're all done, which is great. Now, best thing you can do for one of these bolts, they're very small, is just use a quarter wrench. This is the one you're going to break if there's any of these timing covers. It'll be this one because there's no bolt, it just snaps into place. Fingers crossed. Oh yeah, baby, we're in. We have got ignition, baby. We've got ignition. I can't believe this.